Zion Williamson is a culture killer or organization killer.
We ain't have much culture before.
No, they had some culture.
No. With AD
hold on.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Do me a favor and drop a like on the video. So, as you all know, the New Orleans Pelicans fired Coach Willie Green a couple of days ago, right? Due to their 2-10 start to the season. And I was of the opinion when I posted the video a couple of days ago on the subject that I didn't think it was a fair firing, given what Willie Green was given and what he had to deal with. Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram at the time, that was the most injured star duo, in my opinion at least, the league has ever seen. And Willie Green basically had to work with essentially the main players who's getting paid the most money, who is supposed to be on the floor. They're just unavailable, and they're just, the Pelicans organization, they just have been extremely unlucky. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because recently Kendrick Perkins went on Richard Jefferson's podcast, and he essentially said that he thinks Zion Williamson is a culture killer. So I'm going to play the clip and we will chime in.
This is less about Willie Green being fired and more about how Zion Williamson is a culture killer or organization killer.
We ain't have much culture before.
No, they had some culture.
No. With AD and Drew Holiday were there.
AD, Drew Holiday, and
good team.
Monty Williams.
Yes,
they had some culture there. But Zion has completely fucked this organization since they drafted him.
How might feel
top to bottom. Real talk. Because you can't depend on them. You don't know what's going on. It's so many things you have to do. He had to clean up certain areas. And shout out to Bill Duffy, because Bill Duffy, he's taken over. He's trying to help Zion with a whole lot of things, hold him accountable.
Duffy's
one of the best to ever do it in the game. I love Bill Duffy.
I got a Bill Duffy story one day.
But think about it though, right? So now you're the Pelicans. Okay, the first thing that you need to ask yourself is, what are we going to do with him on this non-guarantee? Think about this. The most hyped athlete since LeBron James, and he is on a non-guaranteed max contract. We have never heard of anything like that in life. A non-guaranteed max contract. Okay, so he's not available. What are you going to do with him? They could waive him, they could trade him. What is his trade market? I think they should move on from Zion. Every year we get excited. Man, Zion, he's in shape. No, I'm just saying. People. He's in shape. He came into shape, training camp in shape. All of a sudden, he hurt his hamstring again. By the way, I don't think I've ever seen anybody in sports hurt their hamstring more than Zion Williamson. No.
Well, but okay. Really 4 years? No, wait, I'm not arguing.
All right, so you heard what Kendrick Perkins had to say, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be honest. Kendrick Perkins is a guy who very frequently says some pretty idiotic things, but he hit it right on the nose on this topic, because it's true. Zion Williamson, he's unavailable. And I think the most important point that we have to talk about is the fact that he was promoted as the most hyped athlete since LeBron James. And because of his inability to stay in shape, or at least take his nutrition seriously, the Pelicans organization literally had to put certain conditions in his contract, saying you have to be at this weight in order to get this amount of money, which is insane, right? Because I'm not gonna say Zion isn't passionate about the game of basketball, but I will say this, man. I've never seen somebody who's injured their hamstring so many times. This is the 5th or 4th time Zion has injured his hamstring, and it's literally derailing this Pelicans organization. Ladies and gentlemen, Zion Williamson has never played a single playoff game. it says here that his first missed opportunity was when they tried to make the playoffs in 2022, but he was sidelined with a fractured finger. And the second opportunity was the hamstring injury. I think that was against the Lakers. And it sucks because when Zion's healthy, this guy is absolutely unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. And it sucks because the fact that he hasn't played a playoff game is, I mean, that basically tells us everything we need to know. He essentially, his presence on this organization doesn't equate to wins. It doesn't produce wins. And Kendrick Perkins says a lot of crazy things, but he cooked here, man. I was reading something else, right? It says that Zion has been limited to 30 or fewer games in a season 3 times in his career. And he only hit the 60 game played plateau twice. That's insane, guys. That's insane. Check this out. So, as you can see here, the most games he's ever played in the season was in the 2023-24 season. He played 70 games. And that's the most games he's ever played in his 5-year career? Gonna be 6-year career. He's only played 6 games this season. As we all know, he's out with another hamstring injury. I think he came back last night. And another thing that I want to dive into as well before I end the video is the Pelicans team. They have a very good young star named Derek Queen, who he was actually going toe-to-toe with Zion Williamson. Not Zion Williamson, excuse me, Jokic.
So a couple of turnovers.
I'm not going to play the sound because I don't want to get copyrighted. But as you can see here, he dropped 30 points, 9 assists, and I think it was 4 rebounds or something like that. I think it was either 9 rebounds or 4 assists, whatever. But he was going toe-to-toe with Jokic. And he's showing flashes of a potential star in the future. And you can't help but think, damn, man, if Zion was healthy, man, what would this team look like? Right? Like, what can this team become if Zion is able to, be available? But I mean, we're just never going to. I don't know if we're ever going to find out. And unfortunately for the Pelicans organization, Zion's trade value is low because of his injuries. It's not like they can just get rid of him, right? They can't just trade him because they're gonna have to pay for pennies on the dollar. They're gonna have to sell pennies on the dollar, which is something they're not going to do. But let me know what you guys think about this topic. Do you agree with Kendrick Perkins? Now, as far as him saying that he's a culture killer, I think that's a bit extreme, but I kind of see his point where he's basically saying that Zion has just been derailing this Pelicans organization, which I think is a fair argument. But let me know what you guys think about this topic. I appreciate the support, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.